gold standard to pay for the war in Vietnam and get paper money now. Remember the U.S. used to have gold for everything in Fort Knox. Boy, that place was full of gold. Now it's probably cobwebs and everything. Okay. Team, don't be done. Well, we use Yusuf and his companions. We've already used it. We already mentioned we're going to be a little bit more systematic in speaking, and the time and what have you, we're going to use it more efficiently. So this will be the last long-winded talk. Some white boy wrote a song. Said the name of the song is "Slow Dancing in a Burning Room." He was talking about love, but they were slow dancing, and the room was on fire. That reminded me of America. Slow dancing in a burning room.
Yeah, it's a good analogy. Yeah.
Yes. Well, there's a white boy. He was trying to, I think his name in a minute. He was trying to sing like Negroes. You know, just have a good thing out there and then build everything around it. Now, what we're doing is not only we're taking charge of our environment, but we're manipulating our environment. Okay, when I say our environment, in the first stage, we're talking about us. We don't care about what they, them, do or say. We're now using what we have in our environment for our goals. For instance, yes, we're going to use our buildings, some of them, for centers because that's what we're going to need. In fact, we hope to outgrow those places right there. I mean, soon, because if it goes the way we feel it will, if it's proper like the time we're living in, it's geometric. Remember, there's certain times. If we plug into the certain movements, climate and all of that, right? There's people already doing that.
Yeah.
They're doing that. As soon as we plug into them, what do we have to offer? Hey, come out to our place and give the neighborhood, our neighborhood, a talk on climate change, why black people don't know about it. They don't care about it, and it don't make no difference. They still drinking and shooting dope, right? We give white folks and all them an opportunity to come in the black neighborhood.
Right.
And we go out and bring the black people, right? The same thing pertains to the Latino neighborhood. We bring them to our neighborhood, right? So they can become more, think globally, but act locally.
Yeah.
So we'll get, that's one of our goals, is to get black people involved. What about homelessness? Just remember, we get to knocking over them bases, closed down bases, and filling them up. You've seen on TV about homelessness. Good God. Here, you don't see much. But there, can you imagine? You've seen some of that stuff.
Yeah, I've seen some of the videos on YouTube of it, like shanty towns. That's the word.
It's like, it's not real, but it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, our picture of this is, boss man, if you're stupid enough to try to get in front of us and stop us from doing that, then you just gonna go down faster. We ain't gonna lose no sleep. At least I ain't gonna lose no sleep. If you're dumb enough to try to make sure that we don't get any association with other people because we might be successful, then you're shooting yourself in the head. But it's not new. They shot themselves in the Islamic Institute for Counter-Zionist American Psychological Warfare. All we did was, why should we get tired? We just said, boss man, we put out the title and boss man come and try to stop us. It's the same thing as saying, boss man, take your pistol out and shoot yourself in the head. And they did. Okay, remember, we're not responsible. The Quran is clear, talking to the prophets of Allah. You're not responsible for the reception you get. You're not responsible for the response that you get. It's your job to preach the message openly and clearly. Now, if that's for the Anbiya and the great prophets, Rasul, what about us? We're not, all we can do is we can tell them what the prophet said, right? Okay, that's what they said. This is the time it is. We'll try to languagize everything so people will understand it. But that's our job. We're doing our job. We're copying the prophets. We're doing our job. If you listen, good for you. You'll get the benefit. If you don't listen, you don't have to worry about burning in the fire of hell. It'll burn up here. Right? You don't worry about drowning. You're going to drown your butt here. And it won't be long. Next year, a year after next, homeboy, it's all over. Can you see what it's that close? It's not like we're talking about something way off. That's why now we're in a different stage ourselves. Not of just warning people, but we're saying, hey, now this is what we can do. We want black people to get better educated, and we want them to get heavily into civil service while they're already in civil service, right? When black people come out, how many people came and went in the private industry, like doing the stuff you was doing?
Well, I don't know, most of us did private industry because we were STEM majors, like science, technology, engineering.
Yeah, that's different, but how about all other Negroes?
Yeah, they usually go specifically city government. That's usually where
city government, state government, federal government, right?
Yeah.
That's where they go.
Yep.
Okay, now we're saying enhance that. Those that are already there, we hope you kind of, now to me, I feel better with them. I've been stopped by black police. I don't have no trouble with them. And when you read the newspaper, you don't see, every now and then, a black police will shoot another black kid, right? It's rare.
Yeah.
How do he get it, why he don't do it and all other people is shooting him, right? Mm-hmm. So automatically, even if they just don't shoot a nigga, brother, it's fine. You right?
Right.
You winning, even,
right.
Now suppose the better educated don't go to the private industry. Just be a dumb police, not a dumb police. Just be a police, do something. Be a fireman, do all that. Get in the system. Get in the system. Why? Because that's who they're going to use against us. Right? They have the sheriff come throw you out of your building when it's time.
They sure do. They do send the sheriff, y'all.
They send out the sheriff come. Not the police, the sheriff. He executes that. Okay. Now, suppose if we last that long, and now looking forward 10 years from now, don't look as sweet as it used to. Because things are accelerating, and you don't know. That means we got to do some things. Okay, y'all want to sing hymns and stuff? Oh, that's great, that's great. But we're gonna try to direct our people.
Yeah.
And the dummies come calling me the other day, we knew you was police all the time. Because now you telling everybody now, alhamdulillah, the law showed us, and these niggas here got the police standing here, the police, they pointing, you know what I mean, and beating you upside the head.
Yeah.
And they calling me the police. What the hell are they doing? Ask a simple question. And that's what we say. What are you talking about? You're the one, what solution? Come up, you got to come up with a solution. You can't run in here, the oceans is almost ready to boil over. All the coral is dying, and you ain't got nothing to say about what to do, except do it to me. He bad. They sound stupid. They are stupid. Okay, let me speed up here a little. You might as well get trained for short lectures. Slow dancing in the burning room. Okay. Well, anyway, we kind of dare boss man. Vocabulary strategy. Strategic urgency. Without impatience and anxiety. Now here I'm calling it strategic urgency. That this is not kickback, oh, alhamdulillah, you know, long range, you know, we have long range patience, and, you know, no. Strategic urgency. What does that mean? Of course I made it up. But strategic urgency means that there's a new urgency now. But it's not impatient, nor is it anxiety. But it appears to be a time limit because the acceleration of the decline in the environment, in the people, you know, the people, they giving them all this money. Now, they figure like there's no problem with that. But it is. The more that money they give away, the less it's going to be worth. And the less everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But so they getting it, that's fine. And what about when the world go off the dollar? They got to go off the dollar because everybody's working on it now. And they're going to get clicks that, well, we're going off the dollar. Because if you've got control of money, you can sanction anybody. You can sanction everybody. And you don't sanction Saudi Arabia, although they're killing the poor people, right? You sanction Syria, that's trying to survive, and you steal their oil. Can you imagine? Strategic urgency without impatience and without anxiety. Harmonize optimism with competition and cooperation. But use cooperation over competition. And some things, in everything we do, there's a team thing. Like when we used to lift weights in a group, you could use cooperation or you could use competition. The guys in there could be competing against each other. Man, I'm going. Or you could use other system. When the other guy can't hardly get it, you put your finger under there, he can't see you a little bit, and you're lifting it up a little bit, and he's pushing hard. You got it. You can encourage the person, right? Or I'm stronger than you, and when you get stronger, that's a threat to me, and I'm gonna be mad, so I don't want to help you get stronger, although we're workout partners, right?
Right. Yeah.
I don't want to see you make fun of me, right? But if we cooperate, it's in everything. Cooperation or competition. Competition in some things are good in certain levels. The Quran says to compete in righteousness. Abu Bakr would outgive Umar all the time. They were competing in giving away and doing good. But during this period, we have to learn how to balance cooperation over confrontation. Because no matter what happens to a people, if a group of people cooperate with each other, they can survive. Okay. So harmonize optimism over competition. Era of cooperation ahead of competition. They're a tool for motivation. We're going to use the tools that we want to use. They use what they use. Go ahead and use them. We're manipulating right now. We're manipulating peace, tranquility, contentment, and all of that. We're manipulating it now. So there's a strategic urgency. The stuff is now. You can see, you can really, really see it. So it's now urgent. It was always urgent, but it's really urgent now. But we're harmonizing optimism against anxiety. Optimism? No, we're not going to be all shook up about this. Impatient? No. It's still sovereign. So that means we're controlling what we're doing. Those things it always exist. Competition, cooperation. Right. We're harmonizing and using them to